Hidden in the ancient texts of Mesopotamia lies a tale as old as time itself, a story of powerful deities, cosmic battles, and humanity's mysterious origins. They are called the Anunnaki, beings from the heavens who shaped the world as we know it. But who were they really? Gods? Aliens? Or something else entirely? These enigmatic figures, worshipped by the Sumerians over 4,000 years ago, are believed to have influenced humanity's first civilization. Their myths tell of creation, destruction, and a divine order that connects humans to the stars. Some say they were the architects of our world. Others believe they were visitors from beyond our galaxy. The truth lies buried in ancient clay tablets, waiting to be uncovered. In this video, we'll journey deep into the myths and mysteries of the Anunnaki, from their divine hierarchy and their creation of humanity to their connection to modern theories about extraterrestrial life. We'll unravel the secrets of these ancient beings and their enduring legacy. Are you ready to uncover the truth about the Anunnaki? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Origins of the Anunnaki. Let's take a step back over 4,000 years ago to the cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia. This land, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was home to the Sumerians, one of the first advanced societies in human history. And at the heart of their beliefs were the Anunnaki, a mysterious group of divine beings whose name means those who came from heaven to earth. But who were they, really? The Sumerians believed the Anunnaki were the children of Anu, the supreme god of the heavens. Anu ruled over all creation, but he rarely left his celestial throne. Instead, he sent his children, the Anunnaki, to oversee life on Earth. They weren't just distant deities to the Sumerians. They were active, powerful beings who controlled everything from the forces of nature to the fate of humanity itself. Among the Anunnaki, two figures stand out, Enki and Enlil. Think of them as brothers with very different personalities and very different plans for humanity. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, was often portrayed as humanity's ally, a protector who brought knowledge and innovation. He was seen as a kind and clever figure, even helping humans in their darkest hours. Enlil, on the other hand, was the god of air and storms. He was powerful, commanding, and at times harsh. To the Sumerians, Enlil was a force of nature, both a giver of life and a bringer of destruction. But the Anunnaki weren't just gods of the earth, they were also tied to the heavens. The Sumerians associated them with stars and constellations, believing they had a direct connection to the cosmos. They were seen as a divine bridge between humanity and the universe, guiding the natural order of the world while ensuring that the Sumerian way of life thrived. This belief in the Anunnaki as celestial overseers gave the Sumerians a sense of purpose, a belief that their lives were part of a grand cosmic plan. So why did the Anunnaki come to Earth? According to Sumerian mythology, they arrived to create order from chaos. Before their arrival, the world was untamed and lifeless. The Anunnaki shaped the earth, established the laws of nature, and brought the knowledge that allowed humanity to grow. They weren't just distant creators. They were seen as architects of civilization, setting the stage for everything from agriculture to city building. And yet, for all their divine power, the Anunnaki were not immortal. They had their own struggles, rivalries, and limitations. In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki weren't perfect beings. They were deeply complex, with their own personalities and flaws. This made their stories even more relatable to the Sumerians, who saw their own struggles mirrored in the lives of these divine figures. But the story of the Anunnaki doesn't end here. Their influence spread far beyond Mesopotamia, and their legacy continues to captivate people even today. Stay with us as we dive deeper into the myths, mysteries, and modern theories about the Anunnaki. The journey is just beginning. Chapter 2. The Epic of Creation. Now that we know a bit about the Anunnaki, let's step into one of the most important Sumerian texts that reveals their cosmic powers, the Enuma Elish, also known as the Babylonian creation myth. This ancient tale paints a picture of how the universe, the earth, and all of life came into being under the watchful eyes of the Anunnaki. In the beginning, the universe was nothing but chaos, a dark, watery abyss. No land, no sky, just a swirling void. But then, from this chaos, two primordial forces emerged: Apsu, the freshwater god, and Tiamat, the saltwater goddess. Together, they created the first generation of gods, but things didn't go as smoothly as they hoped. The younger gods, led by the mighty Anu, began to make noise and disrupt the peaceful chaos. Apsu and Tiamat, angered by this, decided to destroy them. But Anu and his followers weren't going down without a fight. Anu, the chief of the Anunnaki, is the father of the gods. He rules from the heavens, a realm high above the earth. Anu is a figure of power and authority. Everything in the cosmos is within his grasp. But in the Enuma Elish, he doesn't just sit back and watch. He leads his divine children to victory over Apsu and Tiamat. After defeating Apsu, the gods go to war with Tiamat, who, in her rage, takes the form of a terrifying dragon. It's a fierce, cataclysmic battle. Ultimately, the gods succeed, and Marduk, the champion god of Babylon, defeats Tiamat in an epic clash. The creation story takes a twist here. Marduk cuts Tiamat's body in half, using one half to create the heavens and the other half to form the earth. The sky and the earth are born from the body of the great dragon. But what about the Anunnaki? Well, the Enuma Elish tells us that the Anunnaki played their part in the aftermath of this battle. They were entrusted with shaping the earth, bringing order to the chaos, and establishing the laws of nature. After the war, they divided the earth into different realms. Each god would rule over a specific domain. Anu, as the supreme leader, took charge of the heavens, while Enki and Enlil each had their own territories. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, was linked to the fresh waters and the fertile earth, while Enlil, the god of wind and storms, governed the air and the storms that would shape the land. The Enuma Elish doesn't just tell us about how the earth was created, it's also a story about divine order and power. The Anunnaki were not passive gods. They were active participants in the birth of the world. They were the architects of creation, ensuring that everything in the universe had its place. They set the natural laws in motion, from the cycles of the stars to the rhythms of the earth. Each Anunnaki had a role to play in this grand cosmic order, ensuring that the world was balanced and functional. But there's more to this story. While the gods had victory, they weren't done yet. The Enuma Elish continues with the gods creating the first humans, a race of beings that would serve them. It's a powerful reminder of the Anunnaki's role as overseers and creators, but also as rulers. The universe may have been born from chaos, but under the Anunnaki's guidance, it was meant to thrive in perfect harmony. So, in the grand story of creation, the Anunnaki were the ultimate creators, working alongside Marduk and others to shape the heavens, the earth, and all life within it. But as we'll see, their influence didn't stop with creation. The Anunnaki's role in the universe would continue to evolve, intertwining with the fate of humanity. Stay tuned, because the deeper we go, the more we'll uncover about the mysteries of the Anunnaki and their lasting impact on both the divine and mortal worlds. Chapter 3, the Anunnaki and the creation of humanity. Now, we've seen how the Anunnaki shaped the earth and the heavens, but what about humanity? What role did they play in our creation? According to Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki weren't just passive overseers, they were directly involved in the birth of mankind. In fact, the creation of humans is one of their most pivotal acts. But there's a twist. Humans were created to serve the gods. Let's dive into the story of how the Anunnaki engineered humanity and why they did it. At the heart of humanity's creation stands Enki, the god of wisdom, water, and craftsmanship. Enki was one of the most important Anunnaki, not only for his intelligence and creativity, but also for his deep connection to humanity. Unlike his brother Enlil, who was more authoritarian and distant, Enki took a special interest in the humans. He saw them as more than just servants, and his compassion for them would shape the very first myths of human origins. But before Enki could create humanity, there was a problem. The Anunnaki needed laborers. The earth, though beautiful and full of potential, required immense effort to cultivate. Fields had to be tended, water had to be controlled, and cities had to be built. The gods, as powerful as they were, couldn't do it all. They needed help. So, according to the myth, the Anunnaki decided to create a race of beings who could work for them, harvesting the Earth's resources and serving the divine realm. So how did they create humans? The Enuma Elish doesn't give all the details, but another important myth, the Atrahasis, sheds more light on this. In the Atrahasis, the Anunnaki, led by Enki, first attempted to create humans by mixing clay and divine blood. However, this first attempt didn't go well. These early humans were too primitive, too weak, and couldn't survive the harsh conditions of the world. So Enki and the other gods decided to try again, this time combining the blood of a slain god, Geshtu-A, with the clay of the earth. From this mixture, Enki created the first humans, beings with the physical and mental potential to serve the gods. They were designed to be laborers, tasked with maintaining the earth so the Anunnaki could focus on their divine duties. The first humans were gifted with the ability to think, communicate, and work, but their primary purpose was to serve the gods in the fields and temples. But here's the kicker. Enki wasn't just creating tools for the gods. As he watched the first humans come to life, he realized something. They had the potential to be more. They weren't just mindless laborers. They could learn, evolve, and grow. Enki took a personal interest in them, teaching them the ways of civilization. He gave them the gifts of agriculture, writing, and the arts. tools that would shape the world and allow humanity to thrive. However, not all the Anunnaki agreed with Enki's view of humanity. His brother Enlil, the god of storms and wind, saw humans as a burden. He was the one who believed that humanity was created solely to serve the gods, nothing more. He didn't trust them with knowledge or power. Enki, on the other hand, saw them as something greater, a creation that could potentially surpass their creators. This tension between Enki and Enlil was a key theme in the creation of humanity. Enlil's more authoritarian approach sought to keep humans in check, while Enki's compassion and vision for human potential drove him to teach them and elevate their civilization. But ultimately, the Anunnaki were divided in their opinions of humanity. Some saw them as servants, while others saw them as partners in the divine plan. So, what does this mean for us? The myth of humanity's creation by the Anunnaki isn't just about gods making workers for themselves. It's about the birth of civilization, the rise of knowledge, and the complex relationship between creator and creation. The Anunnaki gave us the tools for civilization, but it was Enki's wisdom that sparked the flame of humanity's potential. Could it be that the Anunnaki, in their quest to create laborers, also set in motion the very qualities that would lead to our evolution as a species? Let's continue to explore how their relationship with humanity shaped the course of history. Chapter 4, The Great Flood and the Anunnaki. Now that we've learned about the creation of humanity, let's dive into one of the most dramatic and pivotal moments in Sumerian mythology, the Great Flood. This event isn't just a story of destruction, it's a tale of defiance, survival, and divine intervention. The flood myth of the Anunnaki has striking parallels to other flood stories, including Noah's Ark from the Bible and the flood of Gilgamesh. But what makes the Anunnaki's version unique? Let's explore. In the myth, the gods were growing frustrated with humanity. The humans, created to serve the gods, were multiplying too quickly, making too much noise, and, most important, to live up to their divine purpose. Enlil, the god of air and storms, became enraged. He saw humanity as a nuisance, a chaotic force disturbing the peace of the gods. So, in a moment of divine wrath, Enlil decided to wipe them out. His solution? A great flood that would drown the earth and start anew. Enlil's decision to destroy humanity with the flood was a divine decree, one that the other gods were expected to follow. But not all of the Anunnaki agreed with him. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, had a very different view. He couldn't bear to see humanity, his creation, wiped out. Despite Enlil's wrath, Enki chose to defy the command. He knew that humans had the potential for greatness, and he couldn't allow them to be destroyed. Enki's act of defiance came in the form of a warning. In the Epic of Atrahasis, Enki secretly communicated with Atrahasis, a wise and righteous man who was forewarned of the coming flood. Enki told him to build a great boat, large enough to house his family and the animals of the earth. The boat would serve as a vessel of survival, carrying the seeds of life through the storm and ensuring that humanity and the world would be preserved. As the floodwaters rose, the earth was submerged under a massive deluge. The gods watched as the waters covered everything, drowning the cities, forests, and fields. But thanks to Enki's intervention, Atrahasis and his followers were safe aboard the boat. The flood was devastating, but in the end, life would continue, thanks to the wisdom of Enki and the perseverance of humanity. But this isn't just a story about gods disagreeing over humanity's fate. The flood myth has strong parallels to other ancient flood tales. In the Bible, we have Noah's Ark, where God floods the earth to cleanse it of evil, instructing Noah to build an ark to preserve life. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, a similar story unfolds, where the hero Utnapishtim is warned by the god Ea, a counterpart to Enki, about a coming flood that would destroy humanity. In all these myths, the flood serves as a form of divine judgment, but also a means of preserving life for a new beginning. Why do so many cultures have flood myths that share such striking similarities? Some scholars believe that these myths might be based on real historical events, like the flooding of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Others argue that the flood stories are symbolic, stories of cleansing, renewal, and the cyclical nature of life. Whatever the case, the Anunnaki version of the flood stands out for its focus on the conflict between the gods and the courage of Enki in saving humanity. But here's the thing, the story doesn't end with the floodwaters receding. The aftermath of the flood is just as significant. When the waters finally calm, Atrahasis, his family, and the surviving animals are free to repopulate the earth. But the gods are not entirely pleased with the outcome. Enlil, despite his initial anger, eventually accepts that humanity has survived. However, he's not willing to let them continue unchecked. In the end, the gods imposed strict limitations on humanity's lifespan, ensuring that no one would live forever. The flood, in many ways, marked the beginning of a new era, one where humanity's place in the world would be shaped by the will of the gods. So, in this dramatic tale, we see the tension between destruction and preservation. Enlil's wrath sought to erase humanity, but Enki's compassion and defiance gave humanity a second chance. The flood myth teaches us about divine power, the complexities of godly relationships, and the resilience of humanity. And as we wrap up this chapter, we can't help but wonder, are these flood myths simply stories passed down through the ages? Or is there a deeper truth behind them? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: the Anunnaki's involvement in humanity's survival left an indelible mark on myth and history. Chapter 5: The Anunnaki and Ancient Civilization. Now let's take a closer look at the extraordinary impact the Anunnaki supposedly had on the development of ancient Sumerian civilization. From writing to agriculture to architecture, the advancements of this ancient culture seem almost too advanced for their time. Did the Anunnaki play a role in these innovations? Or were they the product of human ingenuity? Let's explore the theories behind the Anunnaki's influence on Sumerian civilization. First up, writing. One of the greatest contributions of the Sumerians was the invention of cuneiform, one of the earliest known systems of writing. The Sumerians began carving these wedge-shaped symbols into clay tablets around 3500 BCE, and it revolutionized how information was recorded and shared. But what if I told you that the Anunnaki were believed to have been the ones who taught the Sumerians how to write? Enki, the god of wisdom, is often credited with giving the gift of writing to humanity. According to the myth, Enki passed on the knowledge of how to record history, transactions, and divine laws, laying the foundation for Sumerian civilization to flourish. But how did he teach this skill to the humans? Was it through divine intervention, or did the Sumerians, inspired by their gods, create their own writing system? Whatever the answer, the connection between the Anunnaki and writing is undeniable in myth. The Sumerians believed that the gods were responsible for many of their most important achievements, and the creation of writing was no exception. But the Anunnaki didn't just stop with writing. Oh no, their influence extended to other key areas of civilization. Next, we look at agriculture. The Sumerians are often credited with pioneering many of the world's first agricultural techniques, including irrigation systems that allowed them to control water in one of the driest regions on Earth. And once again, Enki, the god of water and wisdom, is at the heart of these advancements. According to the myth, Enki gave the Sumerians the knowledge of how to tame the rivers, how to plant crops, and how to cultivate the land. This knowledge would have been crucial to the survival and prosperity of the early Sumerian city-states, as agriculture was the backbone of their economy. But here's the big question: did the Anunnaki's knowledge of agriculture come from their own advanced technology, or did they simply teach the Sumerians what they knew? In some theories, the Anunnaki are said to have had superior knowledge of farming techniques, skills that could have been far ahead of their time. Whether they shared these skills directly or simply acted as divine teachers, their impact on Sumerian agriculture is undeniable. Now, let's talk about something that has fascinated archaeologists and theorists for centuries: architecture. Specifically, the ziggurats, the massive step pyramids that dot the ancient Sumerian landscape. These towering structures, which were part religious temples, part architectural marvels, are some of the most enduring symbols of ancient Mesopotamian civilization. But how did the Sumerians build such monumental structures without the advanced tools or knowledge we have today? Some theorists suggest that the Anunnaki might have been involved in the creation of the ziggurats. These massive structures were built with incredible precision, requiring knowledge of astronomy, geometry, and engineering. Could the Anunnaki, with their advanced technology and divine wisdom, have helped the Sumerians construct these enormous pyramids? According to some ancient astronaut theories, the ziggurats were more than just temples. They were landing platforms for the gods. The idea is that the ziggurats were built to facilitate the Anunnaki's descent from the heavens, serving as a physical and symbolic connection between the gods and the earth. Whether you believe in the ancient astronaut theory or not, the fact remains that the ziggurats and other monumental structures of ancient Sumer were incredibly advanced for their time. The Anunnaki's role in these achievements, if any, remains a matter of speculation. But one thing is certain: these structures were built with a level of skill and knowledge that points to a deep understanding of the universe, one that could have been influenced by their divine teachers. So, as we look back at the advancements of Sumerian civilization, we can't help but wonder, how much did the Anunnaki contribute to these developments? Were they truly the divine teachers they were believed to be? Or did the Sumerians simply give credit to their gods for their own ingenious discoveries? Either way, the Anunnaki's presence in Sumerian mythology serves as a reminder that civilization was built on the foundations of divine wisdom, whether that wisdom came from the gods or from the ingenuity of humankind. In the end, the Anunnaki left their mark on ancient civilization in ways that still capture our imaginations today, whether through their influence on writing, agriculture, or architecture. The legacy of the Anunnaki continues to inspire myths, legends, and even modern-day theories about humanity's origins. Chapter 6: Anunnaki in Modern Theories. We've explored the ancient myths and their impact on civilization, but what about today? How do the Anunnaki fit into the modern world? The story of these ancient gods has taken on a life of its own in the world of contemporary theories, especially in the realm of ancient astronaut theory. This theory has risen to new heights in recent decades, and the Anunnaki have become central figures in these modern interpretations. But what exactly are these theories suggesting? Are the Anunnaki gods from ancient times simply misunderstood extraterrestrials? Let's dive into some of these fascinating modern takes on the Anunnaki. One of the most popular theories that has emerged in recent years is the idea that the Anunnaki were not gods at all, but rather extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth in ancient times. This theory gained traction through the Ancient Aliens TV series and has been embraced by many conspiracy theorists and fans of ancient mysteries. The basic premise of the ancient astronaut theory is that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in the distant past and influenced human development, guiding our species in ways that seemed impossible for the time. And at the center of this theory are the Anunnaki, believed to be advanced beings from another planet, possibly from a distant star system. According to this theory, the Anunnaki were far more technologically advanced than the ancient Sumerians could ever have been. They are said to have arrived on Earth seeking resources, specifically gold. But why gold? Well, one of the key proponents of this idea, Zecharia Sitchin, an author and researcher, proposed that the Anunnaki came to Earth to mine gold. In his books, especially The 12th Planet, Sitchin argued that the Anunnaki were from a planet called Nibiru, a hypothetical planet located in our solar system, which allegedly has an elliptical orbit that brings it close to Earth every 3,600 years. Sitchin's interpretation is based on his unique translation of ancient Sumerian texts, including the Epic of Creation and other cuneiform records. He believed that the Anunnaki, as part of their mining operations, created humanity. In Sitchin's theory, the gods didn't simply want humans to serve them. They created humans to act as a labor force, assisting the Anunnaki in extracting gold from the earth. The Sumerian myths of gods creating mankind to serve them now take on a new twist. The Anunnaki needed the gold, and humanity was created as their workers. But here's the twist. According to Sitchin, the Anunnaki didn't just come and go like some ancient benevolent gods. Instead, they supposedly had an ongoing relationship with Earth's inhabitants, teaching them skills and knowledge, including agriculture, writing, and even the building of large structures like the ziggurats. This theory suggests that much of the advancements seen in Sumerian civilization came from their direct interaction with extraterrestrial beings, leading to the creation of the remarkable technologies that shaped early human society. Now, not everyone agrees with Sitchin's interpretation. Many critics argue that his translations of ancient texts are flawed, and his evidence for the Anunnaki's extraterrestrial origins is speculative at best. Mainstream scholars and archaeologists dismiss his theories, claiming that Sitchin's work misinterprets ancient Sumerian culture and the true meaning of their texts. They point out that the stories of the Anunnaki, like all mythology, were deeply symbolic, meant to explain the unexplainable and convey cultural beliefs about gods, the world, and humanity's place in it, rather than literal accounts of aliens from another planet. Despite the controversy, Sitchin's work has gained a huge following. His theories have inspired a wave of ancient astronaut proponents who believe that advanced extraterrestrials have shaped human history. Some even argue that the Anunnaki could be responsible for the construction of the pyramids, Stonehenge, and other ancient wonders. The idea that ancient civilizations were visited by beings from another world is compelling, and the Anunnaki are at the heart of this narrative. But what does this theory mean for us today? The idea that the Anunnaki might be extraterrestrials challenges everything we think we know about our history. Could it be possible that our ancestors were influenced by beings from beyond the stars? Or could these myths and stories simply be reflections of human imagination, woven into tales to explain the mysteries of life, creation, and the cosmos? While we may never have definitive answers to these questions, The modern theories surrounding the Anunnaki open up fascinating possibilities about humanity's past, whether they were divine beings, extraterrestrial visitors, or a product of ancient human creativity. The Anunnaki continue to inspire wonder, debate, and exploration. As we uncover more about our past, we're left with the tantalizing question: what if the Anunnaki weren't just gods? They were something much more. The search for answers continues, and the mysteries of the Anunnaki may never truly be solved, but they will continue to fuel our curiosity for generations to come. So what do you think? Were the Anunnaki extraterrestrials, or were they simply gods, representing the forces of nature and the unknown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with fellow truth seekers. Chapter 7: The Legacy of the Anunnaki. Now that we've explored the origins and theories surrounding the Anunnaki, it's time to look at their lasting legacy. These ancient gods didn't just leave a mark on Sumerian culture. They've influenced other mythologies, religions, and even modern-day ideas. So, why does the story of the Anunnaki still captivate us today? Let's dig into their impact on the world and uncover why these ancient figures continue to spark fascination all over the globe. First, let's take a look at how the Anunnaki have influenced other mythologies and religions. If you think the Anunnaki were unique to Sumerian belief, think again. The gods of Mesopotamia, particularly the Anunnaki, had a lasting effect on other ancient cultures and their mythologies. Their stories spread throughout the region, influencing the cultures of the Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians, and even the ancient Egyptians. In fact, there are striking parallels between the Anunnaki and deities from other traditions, suggesting that the gods of Mesopotamia laid the groundwork for religious thought across the ancient world. For example, the Anunnaki's role as gods who governed the universe and human affairs can be seen in the gods of other ancient pantheons. The idea of a pantheon of gods who control different aspects of life, like the weather, water, and fertility, appears in other mythologies such as the Greek, Roman, and Egyptian traditions. The Greek gods, for instance, governed various realms. Zeus controlled the sky, Poseidon ruled the sea, and Hades ruled the underworld. Much like the Anunnaki, they were seen as powerful beings who could shape the fate of humanity. Some theories even suggest that these later gods were influenced by the stories and archetypes found in the Anunnaki myths. And it doesn't stop there. The story of the Anunnaki and their interactions with humanity also echoes in the sacred texts of other cultures. The Bible, for instance, contains striking similarities to the Sumerian myths of creation, including the story of the flood. The account of Noah's Ark shares parallels with the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, where the gods, guided by Enki's defiance, sent a great flood to cleanse the earth. Some even argue that the Anunnaki's interactions with humanity in the ancient world may have influenced the development of monotheistic religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Could the idea of gods who intervene directly in human affairs have carried over to these later faiths? Why do the Anunnaki continue to fascinate us today? Well, it's clear that the myths surrounding these gods resonate with modern audiences for several reasons. First, there's the allure of the unknown. The idea that ancient civilizations were influenced by beings from the heavens, whether gods or extraterrestrials, sparks our imagination. We love mysteries, and the Anunnaki fit into that narrative perfectly. Were they gods, aliens, or something else entirely? The ambiguity and complexity of their story invite endless debate and speculation, making them a timeless topic of intrigue. Another reason the Anunnaki continue to captivate us is that they embody many of the themes that remain relevant today. The Anunnaki are often depicted as powerful, enigmatic figures who created humanity and influenced civilization. But there's always the question of why. What did they want from humanity? Were they benevolent teachers, or did they have their own hidden agenda? The themes of power, creation, and the relationship between gods and humans continue to resonate with us as we grapple with questions about our place in the universe and the forces that shape our lives. Let's not forget the sheer scale of their story. The Anunnaki's involvement in the creation of humanity, their advanced knowledge, and their role in shaping ancient civilizations are all part of a narrative that feels larger than life. When we look at ancient monuments like the ziggurats, the pyramids, and other wonders of the ancient world, it's hard not to wonder if the Anunnaki were behind them. Their story is wrapped up in the mysteries of lost knowledge and the idea that humanity's true origins might be much more complex than we've been told. Today, the Anunnaki are not just a part of ancient history. They've become a symbol of humanity's ongoing quest for answers. Whether through books, documentaries, or online communities, the Anunnaki continue to inspire people who are fascinated by ancient history, extraterrestrial theories, and the potential connections between past civilizations and modern-day mysteries. Their legacy endures because they challenge us to think bigger, to ask the questions that lead to new discoveries, and to keep exploring the mysteries of our origins. Ultimately, the Anunnaki's legacy is about more than just ancient myths. It's about the human desire to understand the unknown and to explore the boundaries of our knowledge. Their story reminds us that there's always more to discover, more to question, and more to explore. And as long as the mysteries of the Anunnaki persist, they will continue to captivate our imaginations for generations to come. So what do you think? How has the legacy of the Anunnaki influenced our modern world? Share your thoughts in the comments below.